Hey folks, Mike Sullivan with Florida Homes. I was listening to the radio today and I heard another ad from a realtor in town saying if he can't buy your home at a time and a price that's agreed upon, that he would buy it. And then there's another ad going around that talks about a realtor having a list of qualified buyers ready and able to purchase your home. Two things enter into this, and I wanted to just talk about this a little bit tonight. One is time, and one is money. And certainly both are important. But I would encourage you, when you hear that ad or when you're talking to somebody, just be aware of what they're actually saying there. And be careful, because most of the time when you want to sell your house, you want to sell it for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. That may not be consistent with what these type ads are saying, because to sell it more quickly, you're going to be selling it for less. So it raises a couple of questions and an assumption. The assumption, obviously, is you want to sell your home and you'd like to do it in the quickest time frame possible. And generally, you want to get the most amount of money for it, which raises the question then, how much is the house really worth? What is the true market value? So let's take a look at a home that's 2,300 plus square feet. It's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and it was built in the year 2000. If you look at the mechanized systems in terms of the valuation they give you, and this is an actual home, you can see the range here. It goes anywhere from $365,000 up to $457,000. So if you check those mechanized websites, you get a difference of $92,000 or 25% variance. And what that should tell you is you can't go from these mechanized values. All they're doing is taking comparable sales or sales in the area and running it through their algorithm, and then they come up with a number. They've never seen your house. They have no idea what the amenities are. They're just crunching numbers. So how do we come up with a true value? Realtors use what they call a comparative market analysis, or you'll hear it referred to as a CMA. And what we do is we take a look at homes that have sold within the past year in the same general area that are about the same size, plus or minus, 10, 15% in size, about the same age, same bedrooms and bath. So in this case, the home is 2,300 square feet, and it was built in 2000. So we're going to look at comps that are somewhere in the range of 1,800 to 2,800, 3-bedroom, 3-baths as a minimum, and have sold in the past 12 months. So the way we do that is we go to the MLS system, which you see here. And this is the actual MLS printout for homes that have sold in the past year that are similar to the subject property. Now here's where the CMA comes into play. This is a portion, this is the first 9 number of homes. There's a total of 24. You can see here 24 homes actually sold. The low price that sold was $219. The high price was $420, with the average being $335 and the median being $342. The median is more indicative of what the home probably would sell for. Now, if I'm the realtor coming in and I'm saying to you, I'm going to buy the home if I can't sell it within a certain time frame, the values I'm going to use for your home are going to be $315 probably. And then if we look at the next page, I'm probably going to use these two here of $330 because they're 2,100 square feet and 2,200 square feet, so they approximate the subject property. And in fact, these two here are 4 bedrooms. So when you average that together, it comes up with a value of $325,000. So that would be the value that I would tell you that your property is worth. Now, if you're looking to get the most for your home, why wouldn't we use values like 386? Notice this one's 2,400, so that's like 30 square feet difference. 389, again, that's about 80 feet difference. And the other one here is 398. So that may be more indicative of your value than the other. Now, the value using these 3 comparable properties is $391,000 versus $325,000. So you can kind of see the difference. If I'm telling you I'm going to buy the house, the market analysis that I do is going to be on the low side so that I can sell it more quickly, generate more demand, and get the property sold more quickly. What you're dealing with is a strategy which is a wholesale strategy by the realtor, because what happens here, they'll come up with a value of the house, in this case $325,000, and then they're going to purchase the home for about 25% less of what they say the value is. So you have a low market value to begin with, which is derived by the realtor, and then they'll discount it by 25% off of that. So it becomes very much a wholesale strategy. The objective here is to sell the home in the shortest amount of time, not for the most money, which may or may not be consistent with your objectives as the seller. Something to be aware of. When you discount the property's value, this slide does a good job of just giving you a visual depiction, and pricing certainly is important in the sale of your home. If you're above market value, and in this case, let's say you're 10% above the market value, so you've priced it too high, which is what submitting for sale by owners do. The buyers who look at your property is probably 30% of the total buyers in the market. Because it's overpriced, you're excluding some potential buyers from even looking at your property. On the flip side, if you're discounting the value of your house, now remember, with this strategy of a realtor saying I'll buy it if I can't sell it, they're about 25% below market value. And what you do there is you get more buyers, but you're leaving quite a bit of money on the table. Using the analogy that we looked at, if the realtor comes up with a market value of $325,000 and he's going to pay you 75% of that, you're selling your house for about $245,000 versus the opportunity of selling it for $391,000. So you can see what's happening here. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. The other thing you hear a lot of is I have a list of pre-qualified buyers ready and able to buy your house. My question there would be, every realtor that has had an experience has a list, if you will, of buyers. If we're doing our job, we have a list of past clients and a list of buyers. Why would you restrict your exposure to the list? What we need to do is we need to get your home maximum exposure. And this is, in my opinion, this is a better way to sell your home. In addition to the exposure in the MLS, which all realtors do, and client list, which realtors have, advertising on the internet is always a good strategy. Facebook, Google, you can take out Google ads or Facebook ads and actually advertise your property on the internet in addition to the exposure that you would get through the MLS. And I use a strategy that I'm going to call targeted advertising. In targeted advertising, you're gaining maximum exposure for your property, and you're differentiating your property from others on the market. It's important that we do that so we're targeting the right buyer. In other words, if you're a medical professional or a lawyer or a professor at the university and you've got a higher end property, we don't want to be targeting that property to a first-time home buyer. They can't afford the property, and it's not going to be the type of buyer that you're looking for. So we need to target those people that are more apt to purchase the property. And then we need to have a well-defined strategy of what to do if we put it on the market and you don't get the desired response from the market. So what I try to do is I give you a list of tools of what we can do to market the home, and together we'll determine what the best way to put the property on the market is. We get a realistic valuation of the property. We may even get an appraisal on the property, which works to your advantage because it's not a he said, she said. You've got a professional opinion by a licensed appraiser of what the value is, and it puts you in an offensive position in marketing your property. And we have a well-defined marketing plan of how to gain the exposure for the property. So you know what I'm going to do. We agree on the approach, and that's how we go to market. And obviously, we always need to be flexible so that we can change to marketing conditions as they change. And again, we employ targeted marketing so that we define who the probable buyer is and we market to that buyer. So be careful when you hear these type claims of we're going to buy your property if we can't sell it. And just realize that the objectives there may not be consistent with your objectives. Be careful with how your realtor determines the valuation of your property. Be sure that you're comparing similar properties. Size, bedrooms, we talked about. Other items are crown molding, flooring, granite countertops, things of that nature. Because you can have the same square footage, but it may be a contractor grade house versus a more upscale house. So hope that helps, gives you something to think about. If you have any questions on that at all, feel free to give me a call. I'll put my number up here in the corner so that you'll have it, and we'd be happy to talk with you if you are planning on marketing your home in the near future. Thanks. Look forward to talking with you soon.